So, right. So, uh, hello, and good evening. My name is Putra Pandu, and I'm going to do an interview about British society and the literature. This interview is for my British society and literature final exam. So, this time I have a special friend, someone from England. Tony, how are you?
Hi, good evening. I'm good. Well, how are you doing?
I'm fine too, thanks. So, thank you for joining this online meeting. Before it, maybe we can start with introducing yourself for the viewers.
Yeah. So I'm Tony, and I currently live in Manchester. That's my background there. That's Manchester City at night.
Like, so, uh, what is your current occupation?
So I currently work in travel as well here in Manchester.
That's interesting. So, right. First of all, let's talk about the culture. Tony,
Okay, yeah. So I think I'm sorry.
right. Can you mention
Yeah.
what is the England national culture? Some unique characteristics, values, or tradition that define your national identity.
All right, cool. Yeah. So I think I'm going to start with the more stereotypical. I think that most people would think of the UK like. So the first one, tea drinking. A lot of people do drink tea; they love it. Some people, like myself, don't like it, but I think in minority, I think most people will drink tea. It's kind of part of the culture. The next one I would bring up royal family, also kind of a well-known stereotype. Some people dislike it, some people love it, but yeah, I think in general, the UK population respect the royal family. The next, I'm bringing it up because it's also a stereotype. Good manners, however, they are in decline. There's not that, there's not everybody's got good manners. In fact, you'll find some very rude people in the UK as well. And finally, a place of reunion, not just for going for a drink with your friends, or after work with your colleagues for team building, uh, but also as like a social hub. Some people might have a coffee, or a soft drink, not necessary for alcohol. So it's more of a social place as well.
So that's quite interesting. So, uh, do you have a cultural background or a personal experience that can ultimately shape your identity?
Yeah, so I think because of my background, I'm half Scottish and half Spanish, and I do speak Spanish and English as native. It has really helped me get to know a lot of people, travel. I've traveled across South America and across Europe, uh, had exposure to diverse cultures and beliefs and thoughts, and I think it's really helped me grow a lot as a person.
Like, so, how many languages do you speak?
So I speak Spanish, English, and also a dialect as well, called Catalan.
Right, that's
It's a
cool.
little bit
So,
similar to Catalan, yeah, Catalan and French a little bit. Mm.
that's cool. Right, so, um, what about the alcohol? Is there legal?
Yeah, it's officially legal from 18, but I go like that essentially because there's a lot of underage that will drink. They will maybe get their friends that are older to maybe purchase it and then drink illegally. In pubs, it's obviously illegal for children to drink, but out on the street, it's a little bit different. But in general,
So,
yeah, it's quite acceptable.
right. So this is completely different from Indonesian because in here alcohol is strictly prohibited and labeled illegal. This happens because Indonesia is a country with a Muslim majority that strictly prohibits alcohol. So, uh,
Interesting
is it
contrast,
illegal
yeah.
to drink alcohol in public places?
It's yes and no. So there isn't a blanket national law that would say no, it's illegal. But what you'll find is local governments will put into place bylaws to stop people from drinking in like the city centre or in events, obviously to avoid antisocial behaviour.
Right, that's very interesting. So, uh, let's talk about the education in UK. So, talking about education, do you agree that education in England is a center for the whole world because of its quality?
I don't know if it's the best in the world, but it's certainly really high up. It obviously includes some of the best universities like Cambridge and Oxford. It's also got good quality, recognised degrees and other courses. Well, very popular, and also by obviously speaking to other friends of mine that studied in the US and Canada, it is cheaper as well in the UK if you compare to costs of tuitions and stuff. So overall, I think it's definitely, if it's not the highest, it's one of the highest.
Right. So, I, I really agree about what you say. So, uh, what is the education system in there?
So children will start in primary, then go to secondary, study and get their GCSEs, and then follow on onto further education. They normally have two ways of doing that. The main one would be A levels. That's mostly the most popular way to do it. And alternatively, they can go through vocational. It well, normally tends to be a bit more like professional, specific to jobs, called BTECs. And that's another way to do it as well. But both of them are equivalent. And finally, higher education. So degrees in higher education. There's also equivalent to BTECs as well at that level, but they're mostly considered degrees. So that's.
So, it is nearly same as in Indonesia, starting from elementary school, middle school, then high school, and after the high school, you can continue with college. So, right, the last discussion is about literature. So, what are your favorite books? Do you have any favorite books?
So I don't really read a lot of books. I mainly read about languages because I do enjoy learning them. But I think one of my favourites all time is Sherlock Holmes. The best one for me is The Hound of the Baskervilles. So yeah.
So, what about the writer? Do you have any favorite poet or novelist or playwright, maybe?
So leading on from the last question, it won't come to a surprise that it's Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, well known internationally, classic. But yeah, I think he's really good.
So, well, that's is a very interesting talk, right? So that's it. Thanks for your time, Tony, and all your explanation about the British or UK. England. Right. Maybe that is for our discussion this time. Hopefully, this information can add to a new insight. Thanks, and see you again. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.